And we are live. David and I are happy to be live streaming with you guys. I mean, we have a very similar community, so we're fairly certain large part of you both enjoy our channel's content, and we love hanging out with you guys. David, thank you for coming on. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Kirk. Good to collab with you and super excited to be here. It has been a while, right? And we love doing this,
Yeah.
of course, when we travel together. But hey, even virtual, it's going to be fun. So yeah, I can't wait to talk about all kinds of stuff with you.
Yes, likewise, likewise. So we have a few people in the comments. Just want to thank everyone for coming out already. We're going to be talking. We'll start. I guess the icebreaker is going to be Forerunner, but then it's. I mean, we'll probably spend an hour with you guys. David, is that? Do you have that much time to go
I have
about?
time. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Eight.
Well, even 90 minutes is fine.
Okay. So we'll spend some time with you guys after we do the icebreaker with the Forerunner. We'll talk about our thoughts on the Forerunner, the pricing, and the trim levels, both the Canadian dollar and the American dollar. But
Mhm.
I just want to thank you guys for coming out and let us know in the comments where you guys are coming from. That I always get a kick out of that. Typically, it's North America, but every once in a while, people throw us for a loop. Are they actually from there? You know, when someone says Antarctica, it's a hard one to believe.
But you guys can all hear us okay? I'm assuming we're
Yeah,
okay.
let's.
Let's just double check people
That's
can
true.
hear us.
That's
And
true.
we got this growing crowd here, Kirk. So I mean, we're also going to just talk about general stuff. It's also end of the year, so we'd love to give you some update from anything that I might have gathered from Japan. Not a whole lot, but there's some, and kind of a bit of a prediction, I guess, what's going to happen in 2025,
Mm.
which is just around the corner. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not. I think the Forerunner is a primary topic, but we want to probably, as usual, talk about a bunch of other things too. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess before I mean, I'm all excited to hear about your Japan information. I mean, most of us feast on that. But
Hmm.
I just got back from a trip in Lauderdale. It was a local trip with some of my Toyota representatives, and yeah, it was great. You guys saw most of that coverage where I gave you a walk around on the Forerunner TRD Sport, but there's also an RX 500H there, an RZ front wheel drive. That was great driving that for the first time. And I also did the Trail Hunter, not Forerunner, but the Tacoma. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I'm fresh off the press with Toyota press people, and I'm sure you have had some contact on your end across the ocean. So,
Bunch of things too, yeah. And I just we just picked up the Tacoma Trail Hunter today, like for the press, and I haven't even driven it. It just literally arrived a few minutes ago.
wow,
So
you're
yeah,
gonna
so I
like
get to
it.
drive. Yeah, I'm looking forward to driving that. So um, but yeah, should we answer some questions already, or should we wait for a
Yeah.
few more
So you
people?
mentioned earlier that you had a post that I mean, I'm happy you did this. You promoted
Mm.
the live stream tonight, and so we have some comments on here that you might want to address. Do you want to start with
Mm.
the first one up here?
Actually, I'm gonna start with the FJ, mini FJ one first because
I
actually quite a few
okay,
people asked
mini
me.
Land Cruiser right here.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
asking me like throughout my
Yes.
last few videos. Everybody keeps asking me. So, well, first of all, it's not gonna be called Land Hopper for sure because that's referring to the little tricycle. Was it a tricycle
Yeah.
or quadricycle,
Yeah.
whatever you call it
It might have
thing?
been a tricycle. It was a
It might have
personal
been
mobility
tricycle.
device. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, Kirk and I'm pretty up to date on that in terms of potential name. I'm almost certain they'll be called Land Cruiser FJ. That's probably the name. But of course, the big question is it going to come to North America? Well, first of all, just backtrack a little bit. Even though Best Car Magazine has some conflicting updates about whether it'll be based on a TNGA platform or will be based on the kind of Hilux slash the other Thailand produced car.
Yeah,
What
the
was it called?
Hilux
No,
Champ, the
Hilux
small,
Champ.
the yeah,
Sorry, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Based on that, and but the latest scoop, or latest insight I'm hearing is that it will be based on the Champ.
Mm-hmm.
not the North American style TNGA platform. So that mean it will most likely be produced in Thailand, which almost certainly means that it will not come to North America.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. I would say I'm about 80% sure they will not come to North America. My best guesstimate. And of course the question is it actually happening or not? Well, I can't tell you too much, but all I can say is that I wasn't allowed to see some parts of the Tahara plant the last time I went there, just not too long ago, because they said there's a brand new model being modeled there, being produced there that is new, all new, and well, there's not too many all new models that could be built in Tahara plant. That's kind of truck based, truck frame, some kind of truck frame. So it was a little bit confusing to me
Mm-hmm.
because Best Car Magazine said Thailand production, and then yet there seems to be a brand new model entire plant. That is not the Forerunner. So, to be honest, I'm not quite sure how to make of it, but I just know that they could not take me through due to some new one being produced. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we produced in both factories. I'm not sure. So I guess the long and short of it is that I'm about 95% sure that it will be produced, that it will happen in 2025, even though Best Car Magazine said it will happen end of this year. It didn't
Yeah.
happen.
Well, yeah, everything in
Yeah,
Toyota land has been delayed.
everything is, yeah. So I think it'll happen next year. And then I would give it like a 50, no, less than that, 30% chance that you'll, 30% chance that you'll come to North
Right.
America. That's sort of my scoop. So if I don't
Sure.
know, Kirk, you want to add to that?
I mean, I just start my wheels start spinning when you say there's something working in Tahara that is something that hasn't been communicated yet. Now, Toyota at this year's SEMA showed a a topless Forerunner and they showed a topless Land Cruiser.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's what I would like to see. Of course, I'd love to see the Land Cruiser Mini. I just don't want to get my hopes up for it. It's
Mhm.
more than likely going to be based off the Hilux Champ, made in Southeast Asia, Thailand. And there's no way that would ever pass safety regulations in the United States, and it's just too good to be true. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I don't know. Um, Likely, like what's the smallest thing they produce in the Tahara plant on the F platform?
It will be the Forerunner.
The Forerunner, right?
Yeah,
So
that's the
I
smallest one.
can't
Yeah.
imagine them going smaller in Tahara, but
Yeah, that's why. Oh, so maybe it's not the FJ or Mini. Maybe it's just like you said, variations of the Forerunner.
yeah.
That's been produced in Tahara. So it's a bit of a mystery. I tried to visit Tahara again just past this fall, like in October when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was denied because they said there's too many things going on there, which actually means that there are too many potential secrets they can't reveal. So they couldn't show me. And then
Yeah.
also, I'm kind of diverging a little bit, but when I went to Mazda factory where the CX-70 and 90s are being produced,
Mm-hmm.
I was also told I can't go to the CX-90 plant because there's also a new model coming out from there. Um, yeah, so
I
there's
wonder when
yeah,
was that before the CX-80 was out?
that
Could that have
was
been?
that would have been in late October.
So
So did we announce the 80 already? Yeah,
it
we did.
it was announced, but it wasn't available yet.
Yeah, so no, no, you know what? I already know what it is. What I'm saying, it's probably the new CX-5. They're
Oh
prototyping the
yeah, that makes
CX-5.
sense. That makes
Yeah, yeah.
sense.
So they said sort of lightheartedly, the Mazda CX-5, the new version will come out in the spring-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Introduction, maybe fall, official launch.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's it. So I remember now that it was a CX-5. They didn't say it officially, but I knew
I
from
mean,
just
they only have so many models, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just drove the CX-5. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It's fantastic. It's still
It's
one
still
of the
really
best
good.
midsize, or I guess technically compact crossovers
Yeah.
out there. It's so fun. It's such a good, well-rounded. I call it luxury because it's especially in like the. I guess I was in the signature. It's it's nicer on the inside in some ways than some of the Lexus, like the NX in
I
some ways.
know.
So it's like, holy cow, real wood, real
Yeah,
leather, great steering feel, quiet, smooth. The transmission super smooth. It's great. It's just a really, really good SUV
really
for the
well
money.
done. Yeah. Yeah, maybe like, maybe Mazda is not quite as reliable as Toyota, but over long term, but honestly, engineering wise, like the emphasis they place on driving, road manners, like it's just so
Right.
much ahead of other
Oh
brands,
yeah. I
It's just
mean,
really
I would
underappreciated
imagine
brand.
this CX-5's pretty bulletproof by this point. It's been in
Yeah,
production a long
exactly.
time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the new platform stuff with the 90 and the 70. There's going to be some teething. Whole new
There will
platform,
be.
whole
Yeah.
new powertrains, all new technology, and as impeccably as they're built, as you've discovered, doesn't mean that they're not going to have their gremlins. So
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, sorry, I kind of went away from
it's
the
great. I
questions here. So let's
love
go
Mazda.
back to the first one. Yeah, first one is why the Forerunner uses regular gas. It's recommended that Land Cruiser use premium gas when the two have the same motor with the same horsepower and torque. Yeah, so they do indeed have the exact same horsepower, same torque output. Um, and Land Cruiser recommends premium. You don't have to use premium. I
Right.
have a Land Cruiser. I do put premium, but I don't have to.
Hmm.
Um, so, my best guess is that sometimes they recommend these things for reasons other than just power and torque. So, first of all, if you put premium gas, typically speaking, you will get more power and more torque. It could be, as little as 4 or 5 horsepower. It could be as much as 10, and torque could be the same. So usually they recommend premium only because they've certified that the regulation was met at a certain
That's right.
power and torque, right? Advertised power and torque. But in this case, it is a bit of a puzzle. I can only assume that for Land Cruiser to meet certain emission standard, they have to put
That's
the
what it. Yeah.
premium,
Yeah.
right, Kurt?
That was my
So
assumption. Yeah.
yeah, because it's a bigger car than the Forerunner. It's larger, heavier, quite a
Hmm.
bit bigger, and therefore maybe they have to use premium to maintain a certain emission standard to have the same power and torque as a Forerunner. So that
Hmm.
would be my best guess. Do you agree with that, Kirk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other reason other than for emissions reasons. So
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I didn't do is the peak power and torque are the same, but I wonder if they happen at a different RPM range. I haven't
highly,
checked.
yeah, it's possible,
So
but I doubt it.
yeah, I doubt it. But if there is, that would be another reason that maybe if, for example, Land Cruiser being a little bit heavier and bigger, whether they calibrate it to allow the maximum torque to happen at slightly lower RPM. If they did that, then that would also explain. But I don't have the RPM, the torque curve here with me, so I can't figure that out. But um, okay, I don't know. We got a lot of questions here on
Got a lot.
both
Should we get
ends
back?
here.
Should we
So
get back to? Well, we can read through the chat here little by little, but
yeah,
let's. I mean, we
maybe
can talk about the pricing. We need to clear. We need to clear the air with the pricing on the
okay,
Forerunner because
sure.
that's going to start up a lot of conversation here.
Okay, let's do
Um,
that first and then come back to
mhm.
questions.
Well, I mean, price creeps are happening everywhere in every industry, right? Everything's getting more expensive at a faster rate than they were previously, especially post COVID, right? So
Hmm.
these prices from 24 to 25 are quite drastic, and we're just looking at
I
US
know.
pricing.
It's similar, so it's similar in Canadian pricing as well. In some cases more, even if you take into account exchange rates. So yeah, it's pretty drastic both sides, US and Canada.
Right. And so we know that these Trailhunter TRD Pro, we know these trim levels are going to be pretty much custom order only, I would say, for the most part. They might
Mm,
get a few in. And if they do, there's probably a wait list for these. They're just going to be extremely low volume. So these prices are just totally outside the bell curve. The bell curve
mm,
typically for this model is going to be around seemingly the low to mid 50s. That's
mm-hmm.
going to be the average transaction price. And the crazy thing is the only the only model that was in the 50s previously was the TRD Pro. So
Right.
overall, we have quite a big of a price jump here.
I know.
trim level to trim level. And the SR5 is the only one that's like, hey, look at this. It's such an outlier.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like,
the base model, right? They
yeah,
tried
it's
to.
it's
Mm,
it's really crazy. So I wanted to bring this
mhm,
up because you brought up when we were texting before the stream, you're like,
mhm,
hey, what about like how does that compare to Tacoma pricing? Well,
mhm,
yeah, MSRP is one thing, but what's happening on the market? What's availability of these trim levels on the market? We know that the Tacoma and the Forerunner have similar trim levels
mhm.
because they have similar powertrains, right?
Yeah, very similar.
Right. So if we look at the Tacoma trims, and this is just in my area, it could differ wildly where you're at in your part of the country or even in Canada.
Hmm.
But you can see the vast majority of available new Tacomas are the SR5 by a
Mm,
landslide.
yeah, I
Okay,
see.
then the next most populous is the base SR trim. And then the
Mm,
next most populous is a TRD Sport. And those are the three most affordable trim levels if I
hmm.
remember correctly. Then it goes to
Yeah,
off-road and then limited. There's no platinum on here. There's no TRD Pro, there's no Trail Hunter, right? So it's all
interesting.
Toyota's really trying to focus these trucks and the volume that they're probably being best received at, which is going to be
Hmm.
on the lower end of the price point seemingly. So we're
Hmm.
seeing a lot
Hmm.
of SR5 availability. And even then, we're seeing price drops. Now, keep in mind, wherever your distributor is, your local dealer, they might have an MSRP, but the MSRP might also include add-ons from your distributor, like I don't know, like window tint or like paint protection and all this other stuff that they
Hmm.
can like interior protection, the coating that they put on there.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's, I mean, that happens in Canada too. I know for sure.
Yeah, they add a lot of stuff in
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
there's
they do.
add-ons. Okay. And so
Mm,
just because they say there's a discount on MSRP, it's almost like they're throwing in some of those things into the
yeah.
deal.
Mm,
So just wanted to kind of reflect on that before we go ham into the
hmm.
pricing of the Forerunner. Is that I think the pricing of the Tacoma is kind of a good I don't know marker of where this is going to be transacting to. I would say the
Hmm.
SR5 is going to be like potentially 60% of the Forerunners sold.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But
guess
I'll let
so.
you take it away from here.
Yeah, I mean, the only tricky thing, of course, is that you have to look into the what we call the feature adjusted pricing. Like you gotta, so if it went up by whatever $3,000 or $5,000,
Yes.
well, what additional features or options
Hmm.
that used to be options did they gain? And if you did compare that, is it still more expensive? And the car companies will play this game, often saying, "Hey, we added $6,000 worth of options, but we only raised the price by $4,000 or something like that."
Hmm.
So I don't know that level of details, but it is still shocking, right? Like, I can see maybe for iForce Max stuff, price going up just because the engine is all new, it's got more power and torque. But even
Right.
for non-hybrid models, like a limited to go up by $5,000 US, like I don't know. I know they added a bunch of options like the retractable running boards and stuff, but it's still a lot of money. So
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
that's
don't
the
know
thing.
because
That's, I mean, as technology improves, you would think some of that would just be included, right?
right,
I mean, if you
exactly,
here's
yeah,
the thing, like blind spot monitor used to be for most vehicles like an add-on, right? And now it's kind of a standard equipment.
that's right,
If
yeah,
we look
yeah,
at the Camry, so the Camry, I don't know, it's like one of my favorite cars, right? So the Camry
definitely.
went full hybrid, but it was maybe slightly less expensive than the previous base Camry hybrid. And it got standard alloy wheels instead of steel wheels. It
Mm,
got optional, heated and heated steering wheel, heated seats on there. So like that's on just on the base LE, which I know is not available in Canada to the sadness of many of Canadians. But
definitely, yeah.
it's just there's so much value to be had in a new redesign like the Camry. I
Mm,
know the Camry still is the K platform, and we're going from an ancient Forerunner platform to the new F platform, but
mm,
still, like this huge jump, everyone
it's
knows
huge.
that this price jump is going to be tough to swallow.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you begin to look at the iForce Max models like TRD Pro costing 12, almost $12,000 more. We don't need a removable speaker. We don't need the ISO whatever seats.
Yep.
Give us a basic TRD Pro. I know they're trying to make more profit, and that's understandable in
Hmm.
today's business, but it's not what the consumers are asking for. If I could give one message to all the car companies, give us a basic model or
Yeah.
simpler model of the same trim and lower the price by a couple of
Yes.
$1,000s, and that will really
Yeah.
stimulate sales.
And
Like,
that's what when Toyota would say, "Hey, well, look at our TRD off road. You can get the locker
yeah.
there, and you can even get that with the iForce Max engine." And that's the
Mm,
thing. Like
this,
the TRD off road now probably
mm,
outperforms potentially the old TRD Pro Forerunner.
yeah, I
So
agree. Yeah.
that's saying like, okay, well, this lines up more with the old TRD Pro. If we look at the TRD Off-Road Premium, for example, if you look at price to price, we're pretty close. But yeah, there's just so much. I mean, it goes up
It's
12.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, twelve thousand
just call it
dollars.
something
Just
different then. Because people are
yeah,
going to see TRD Pro to TRD Pro, and that's what they're going to compare against,
I
right?
know. I mean, at least you guys, your Trail Hunter and TRD Pro are the same price. In Canada, the Trail Hunter costs several $1,000s more, because they have different equipment. But like here in
Interesting.
Canada, the most expensive Trail Hunter is, over $80,000 Canadian. So with taxes and everything, we're hitting almost six figures, right?
Right.
So what is that? What is 87,000 dollars? 80, well,
Yeah, Trail
87,000
Hunter. Yeah.
including the PDI freight and stuff,
Yeah.
but that's not including taxes still. So,
And you
we're
have high taxes in Vancouver, right?
yeah, we have huge in Canada in general, so it would be $100,000 to buy a Trail Hunter here, like the cash price. It's just outrageous. And also it's creeping up to the Land Cruiser pricing, right?
Yes. So let's bring
That's
it
the other
down.
thing. Yeah, let's take
So
a look at the Land Cruiser
here's Land
price.
Cruiser pricing. So the 1958 has gone up. I mean, year over year, the Land Cruiser got more expensive. Um,
Right.
and so if we're looking at, kind of put this in comparison, is that the Land Cruiser Premium probably, it, when you equip it, it's probably close to what a Platinum is,
I
right?
think so. Yeah, I think so too.
And so
Yeah.
it's what 5,000,
I
four to five
know.
thousand dollars
Yeah.
more. But I
That's
don't know,
not that
David.
much.
When you're
I would take the
spending
land.
this much money, wouldn't you want the product that
I
has more
know.
clout, the product that
Take
looks
take the
better,
Land
makes you
Cruiser.
feel better?
Yeah,
I
I think so.
I'm not a huge fan of the Forerunner's design. I think side
Yeah.
profile's fine, the rear window's fine, but like the double handlebar mustache front
I
end,
know. I don't like
you
that
and I have
either.
talked about,
Yeah,
we just
I
still
don't
don't
like it.
understand it. So
It just the whole thing, there's nothing sort of inherently wrong with the design, but it doesn't quite capture my feel. It doesn't, well, because I've
Tacoma
owned
looks
so
better.
many, yeah, Tacoma looks better.
Yeah.
Like I've owned so many Forerunners, right?
Yeah.
2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020,
Yeah.
21. I think latest one was 2022 limited. And so I always look at it and say it still looks good.
Oh
But
yeah, the Forerunner still looks good.
still looks good. And I don't know that this will age well, this design. I think they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that many of the cars that we see today in 2024, 2025 had some design elements done during the COVID days.
That's
And I
right.
always wonder whether the weird stuff that we're seeing now and some mishaps we're seeing now might be as a result of people not being able to collaborate properly
Mm.
in 2020, 2021
Yeah.
timeframe. Here we are exactly 3 to 4 years later, right? So I wonder some of that is because of the time, 4 years ago. But
Can
anyways, yeah, I
Can
don't
you bring up
mm,
another design maybe that sticks out to you that might be a result of miscommunication or a lack of collaboration during the COVID time period?
mm,
Obviously, with the Forerunner, it's easy to beat a dead
right.
horse with, but
Yeah, like in terms of engineering, like, so more of equipment stuff, but
okay,
like putting the JBL removable speaker or the ISO dynamic seats on the TRD Pro, like I think those are weird stuff. I don't think typically Toyota would have done something like that. Like to me, it seems like a very marketing driven features to make it look attractive, but not but most of us will probably find it not all that functional to have those features. So who came up with those ideas and who approved it? It would have made no sense to most of us to have that feature. So I find it weird, just the configuration and the combination of things they put in.
Mm.
I'm happy with the Trail Hunter. I think that's a good
Such a
addition
good
to the
truck.
TRD Pro.
Yeah.
Um, but so those are some stuff I question what happened during 2020,
Yeah.
2020, 2021, when people couldn't meet face to face and make decisions about engineering and design, right? Um, Anyways, those are, of course, things that we can only speculate right now, but
Right. Hopefully those
um,
days are long behind us and we never have to return
I hope
to that
so.
chaos because
I
yeah, the
really
car
hope so.
industry obviously we're still like these price hikes have to be in somewhat related to the ripple effects, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But since neither of us have driven the Forerunner, I guess I suppose there could always be surprises when we drive it and we say, hey, we actually like it better than Land Cruiser. That's possible. I'm kind of jealous of Kirk because I'm going to miss the Forerunner drive in January
Yeah.
because I'll be in Africa with my wife on a kind of long deserved vacation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to miss the whole thing. So you guys have to keep an eye on the Kirk's channel for the driving review. I'll get to drive it hopefully soon after that. But I think it's gonna drive very much like a Tacoma with just a
To,
little bit more stability and a little bit more
that's what's
solid
coming to
feel,
mind
right?
is Tacoma.
Yeah,
You mix the Tacoma and the Land Cruiser together, and it doesn't take a lot of imagination.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's the thing with Toyota vehicles in general. Like there's hardly
It's
any surprises. Like the GR Corolla, I guess, is a surprise, right?
yeah, that was a
But
surprise. Yeah.
like maybe when I drove the Prius Prime, like it was a surprise because the old Prius Prime and the old Prius were nothing like that vehicle, right?
Yeah,
But
that was a big surprise.
for the most part, if you've driven one Toyota with a specific powertrain, it seems and feels like you've driven every vehicle in the Toyota
hmm
Lexus, well, to the Lexus lineup to an extent,
I
with that same
agree. Yeah.
powertrain.
Yeah.
So
I would hope because the only thing I don't really like about my Land Cruiser is, well, two things in terms of engineering. One is the steering is really light,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
very
mm-hmm,
light,
mm-hmm.
and then also the power plant, the engine has lots of power and torque, but it's not smooth. It's not well
No,
balanced. You step on it, it kind
yeah,
of kicks in, and you take off, and then and then the transmission shift, and
it
that
has some
calibration
weird
is
hiccups
weird.
to it. Yeah,
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 it
yeah.
has,
I noted
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a fully baked product with the powertrain.
No, no. And
Yeah.
on the Tacoma with the iForce Max, I felt that it's better. Like calibration seems better in terms of power delivery and torque delivery. And then the steering is heavier. It has a heavier
Mm-hmm.
feel in the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter too. So I'm hoping that if the Forerunner has more of the Tacoma feel with the Tacoma engineering in terms of the power plant, then it could be better driving car than the Land Cruiser. We'll have to
Yeah.
again wait and see.
There's one I know where this will do better than the Land Cruisers because the Land Cruiser's front windshield is pretty much vertical. So
That's right.
when you start going about 80 miles an hour on the highway with the Land Cruiser, it gets loud. A lot of wind
It is a bit
noise.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially mine's the first edition, so it has the huge
Roof
roof
rack.
rack thing.
Yeah.
And that thing is definitely noisy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, the A pillar is always has been pretty swept back on a Forerunner, so
Mm.
it's going to be a little bit smoother on the highway, I would say. But who knows? We have to drive it. So,
Yep. Yep.
yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to driving it though. And then I'm still like normally you guys know that I would have put deposit on cars to buy, so that I would like Land Cruiser I put deposit 2.5 years ago. Many cars I put deposit before the announcement and then with the hope that I'll get the first one and I have been able to get the first
Mm-hmm.
ones. But the Forerunner I didn't put deposit. I didn't even put my name or even show interest because I wasn't sure and I wasn't I'm not sure if I wanted to buy it over the Land Cruiser because I would have preferred to buy the GX then if I'm gonna buy another new car and trade one of my cars, then I would just go for a
Yeah.
GX
I saw
perhaps.
GX yesterday on the road, and it's beautiful. It's
It
a
looks good.
really good looking
Yeah, it's
SUV.
It's really good looking, yeah. And it's basic it's Land Cruiser with the Lexus features and
Yeah.
Lexus emblem,
Yeah,
right? But
it doesn't drive all that much different.
no, no, it doesn't. Yeah. But the V6 is better. The
Yeah,
twin
the
turbo
V6
V6
is
is
better.
definitely
Yes.
better.
Yes, the V6 is better than the hybrid,
Mhm. Definitely,
which
yeah.
yeah. You guys know how much I like hybrids, but
Mm,
the iForce Max hybrid, not the twin turbo V6, that
mm.
one's typically a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the four cylinder iForce Max on the Forerunner and the Tacoma, it's just it doesn't do it for me. And the Land
No,
Cruiser has its
it's
own Land
not the
Cruiser.
best. It's
No.
definitely not the best engineered part planned from, yeah, from Toyota. Yeah, I don't know. Something is not quite right. It's got a lot of power and torque, no
Yeah.
question about that. You step on that and my Land Cruiser
Oh
takes
yeah.
off.
It goes.
Yeah, better than the V6 and but anyway, hopefully they'll calibrate over time. That's what Toyota is good at, Kaizen or continuous improvement. They'll keep on
Yeah, it'll
changing
get better.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, should we go back to some questions on the live stream? I think
Yeah.
we missed a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that,
I
everyone.
mean,
We're kind
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
busy trying to figure things out here, but um,
Do you have the your live chat up?
yeah, I'm just looking at the like actual YouTube channel of the our
Okay.
live stream,
Sure. Yep.
and so the question I can see the questions.
Oh, I like
Let me.
this one. Marcelo MJM. I want to hear your opinion between the all new 26 Passport V6, which is the new double overhead cam, 3.5 liter with, I think, 285 horsepower, something like that, versus
Mm-hmm,
the 2.4 turbo Forerunner engine.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right,
Have you
David.
you haven't driven the passport with the new passport though?
I haven't driven the new Passport. I will early next year. But I have driven vehicles with that engine.
Yeah,
The new, I think the new Pilot has it.
that's right. Yeah.
Is that the only one so far that has it?
That's I think so because Ridgeline, the new Ridgeline
Does
has
not.
the it's not. So I think so, yeah.
And the Odyssey that I'm driving has a single overhead cam, which is
Mm,
it's very strange. Okay, so let me talk about Honda's V6s real quick.
mm,
And the MDX, it's the exact same engine that's in the Odyssey that I'm driving, the 25 Odyssey.
mm,
The same engine, same transmission. It's a 10-speed auto. In the Odyssey, it's quiet, super quiet, buttery smooth,
mm,
absolute perfection. I have no issues with the engine, the transmission, the power, the smoothness, and the responsiveness.
mm,
For whatever reason, in the MDX, the new 25 MDX, and I got to drive it again because I haven't driven it since the media event, which is
mm,
early production models, I would say. It was very loud and not smooth.
mm.
And
Interesting.
theory, it's the same engine. So it's just like, well, was Acura trying to be like more sporty with it because it's their
Mm.
performance brand, right?
Right,
Precision
right.
crafted performance, but
Yeah.
it wasn't executed well. And I've
Interesting.
seen a lot of people say the same thing. However, if you drive
Mm.
with that engine in the Ridgeline, it's pretty smooth. Not the same
Hmm.
transmission though.
That's true. So in addition to Tacoma Trail Hunter, actually this week we also have the 25 MDX Type S.
Oh,
Is
the
that the one
Type
we
S is
have?
different.
Is it the Type S that we have? I think it's Type S that we have.
I think you'll like the Type S.
They just dropped it off, so I don't even know which one we have. I think it's Type S. Anyway, so I'll drive it and get a feel for that. But generally speaking, if you're asking us, or at least me, if I prefer V6 to 2.4 turbo, of course, 100%. I'll take V6
V6.
anytime,
Yeah.
naturally
Yeah.
aspirated. Maybe it's not quite as fast, 0 to 60, or you don't get the low end grunt
Mm-hmm.
of a turbocharged engine which peaks torque at really low RPM.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that, but the organic feel and the general
Yes.
feel, the smoothness. I mean, I really wish Toyota would not ditch V6 so quickly,
So
but
quickly.
they did. Yeah.
And here's the thing. What's crazy to me is they're seemingly ready to move past the 2.4 because Toyota earlier this year
Mm,
debuted a new 1.5, a 1.5
right.
turbo, and the new 2-liter turbo.
Turbo. Yeah, that's
And that
right.
two
Yeah.
liter turbo is going to be a pretty sweet engine. I mean,
Yes.
if you, David, we both love the Type R and the Type S. That is
Mm,
proof that a 2-liter inline four can be buttery smooth and be
That's
very
right.
enjoyable to drive.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love that of both of those cars. Yeah,
Oh my
especially the Honda.
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, the Type R is so good. It's so well done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we love the GR Corolla, but if you compare GR Corolla to Honda Civic Type R, there's no comparison, right? Which one
They're
I
just
prefer?
totally different. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
different.
different
It's
cars.
one's like a high school kid, and the other one's like I don't know, a successful man out, a businessman or something. So
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll take naturally aspirated engine anytime over turbo, or especially and especially with turbo and hybrid. Not necessarily because reliability. Turbos are pretty reliable now, but I just
it's
prefer
the
the feel of
feel.
it.
It's the feel and the
So
sound.
yeah, so I'm driving my 20-year-old Lexus SC 430 the last few
Oh,
days in the
butter.
middle of winter. Oh boy, that 4.3 liter V8.
S-
Oh my goodness. It feels even better than
Butter.
the V8 in our GX, the 23 GX. There's something about the older
Yeah.
V8 engine from Toyota and Lexus. It's just so amazing.
Yep.
And we don't have that. We've lost those feel, but
Yep.
so again, but any other
Yeah,
questions?
we got super chat from Mike
Oh yeah,
Wellington,
okay,
the
better do
five
that one.
spot.
Yeah.
Kirk, we're gonna see you at the 20. He's always trying to Mike's always trying to me up to the Chicago Auto Show.
Okay.
It would
Is he
have to,
based there?
yeah, I think Mike's based there. I always appreciate it. Thanks for the five spot, Mike. One of these days, I mean, I'm sure meeting you is totally worth the trip itself. But leaving my family, I have 5 kids and a beautiful wife. So, like, leaving them for an auto show, if there's no like huge announcements there that, I mean, typically are more focused on the vehicles and brands that do well on my channel. If there's not a major announcement, I
Hmm.
probably won't be there.
Yeah.
Just because I can't make one a family case out of it, or leave the family. Two, I
Mm.
can't make a business case to make sense of it. So that's the short of it. But I will be at CES. Well, there's going to be some exciting stuff there. Definitely with
Oh, so
Honda, but
you're going to CES? You are
yes,
going to CES?
yes, yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I didn't realize that.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna miss that as well because of some trips I have. But
right.
um, interesting. Maybe I should try to come up for a couple of days.
I know you want to so bad.
I want to
Yeah,
come see it so badly.
yep. There's going to be some
Um,
surprises.
mhm. Right.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, there's another question about thoughts on upcoming LX 700H over trail,
Okay.
basically GR Sport Land Cruiser 300, which yeah, that is true. Perhaps the only model that truly has all of the off-road capabilities of a Land Cruiser 300 series.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
that's the
of course,
triple locker, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
But
of course,
will
we
it?
love it, but it's so
Oh, it's
expensive.
going to be like 130 plus, 140.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
US.
it's 100 what is the 100 base price 140,000. I think in Canada 138 or something like that. So with taxes will be like
Yeah, and there could be
$170,000.
markups. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's down here anyways. Now,
it's a lot.
does that Overtrail have EKDSS?
No, I don't think it did. I think they said that it's not on the model.
That is
For some reason it's
it's
missing.
unacceptable.
Is that right? I'm pretty sure.
It should
I
be
remember
on
reading
there.
about it, and I remember hearing or seeing that somehow it doesn't have the
Yeah, I don't remember
EKDSS.
that being mentioned.
I don't think it has it. But I don't know why they would take that off though. I mean, I could be wrong, so I might have to just do a quick
Here,
check.
yeah, I'm looking it
Oh,
up.
it doesn't
Let me
have
find.
EKDSS. Yeah, someone just commented,
Yeah,
the
it's
Dinesh.
not. I just
So that's what I thought too.
it's like
So I don't,
I,
yeah, why did they remove that? Does it have a,
that's kind of what makes
I don't
the
get it.
GX special. Now it's got a lift for 2025, the GX over
Hmm.
trail, but it's like what? Okay, so they put 33-inch tires on the 18-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Um, I
But it's
don't.
still, I guess it's still going after a Lexus customer as opposed to a Land Cruiser type customer. So I guess but still they could have easily put that in.
If
Maybe,
you're
you know
if
what? maybe the ride and everything, it doesn't quite meet the Lexus standard with that. I don't know.
Maybe, maybe, but they did it with the GX. So
Yeah, that's right. Does it maybe the does it have air suspension availability? I don't think so, right? No, it doesn't have air suspension on
the
the
Overtrail, they probably
I
scrapped
don't
it
I
for
don't
the
think they will have
Overtrail.
that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if we're going to ever get to drive that car, but I don't think it'll show up in a press
I
fleet anytime soon.
so I was invited. Here's the thing: I was invited to drive the Overtrail
Mm.
next month. Not
Oh,
the Overtrail,
really?
but the LX. Sorry, the LX Hybrid.
Okay,
And
okay, cool.
is this too much traveling? I'm not. I turned the event down, sadly,
Mm,
but it would have been like my fourth trip in January, and I have.
mm.
It's just too much.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'll have to go for you next time and then do it on your channel.
that's true. I'm fine with that. Um, so that one's tough. That one's tough to miss, but at the same time, it's
Mm,
like
you got too
I
many
just
things
got too
going
much
on.
stuff. I just got,
Yeah, yeah. Same for me for different reasons, but yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
we're still very passionate though, and so we would love to continue here. I don't know, do you see any questions there that we might have missed that we should answer? And first of all, thank you for some of you guys saying we're dream team and everything. Yeah, we love working with each other. We hope that we were closer together physically.
That
We're
would have been
so far
nice. Yeah.
apart, but
Yeah. Literally complete opposite
opposite.
ends. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's Dave and Kirk, love your channel, thank you. Which one would you choose?
Okay.
GX550 Premium, which is the base, or Forerunner Limited iForce Max, and why? Oh, this is an easy one. I would I know this seems strange because the GX550 base might not have all the features, but I would definitely pick the GX over Forerunner for primary reason that I prefer the feel of the V6
Yeah.
turbo
Yeah.
V6, which is
It's good.
actually just works really wonderfully in that car.
Yep.
Kirk, what do you think?
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Yeah, that's an easy one to answer because it's about the same. No, maybe it would still be more expensive, maybe on Lexus, but not a huge difference in price,
Yeah.
right?
Not that big of a difference. This
Yeah.
this is a this is a funny. Seymour says Scotty Kilmer said Tundra is going to be built in Mexico along with the Tacoma. Is this true? Well,
No,
it's not
no,
true.
it's
They
not
don't have any
true.
production capacity in Mexico that
No,
I'm aware of for any other vehicle other than the Tacoma. And then if the Tundra were to leave San Antonio, that means the Sequoia would be built there
no,
by itself.
no, it makes no
It
sense.
makes no sense.
So I don't know why he would make a comment
Yeah.
like that, but in
We're
Toy
taking this person's word that because I don't have
Well, I mean,
Scotty's
I can explain
quote
very
in front of me.
simply, regardless of the capacity and all that stuff. Simply put, Toyota will never move a model unless it's a brand new model to a new factory, period. So, could Tundra in like 7 years' time or 6 years' time move to Mexico? Yeah, of course, that's possible. But in the current generation, they will never, never, ever. Well, I shouldn't say never.
Yeah,
Sometimes they do,
sometimes
but
they do. Yeah,
usually
it's
they
very
don't
rare.
usually move factory. Very, very
Yeah,
rare. Yeah, so
yeah. I
that wouldn't
mean,
happen.
as far as I know, anything's possible, but very, 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 very low chance of that
Yeah.
happening. And who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs? It could boil out to be nothing, or it could throw a wrench in everything, and then the car
Yeah, I
market's
know.
just going to be in complete disarray, which
It's
it's
gonna be
close to being right
crazy.
now. Especially if you're Stellantis or Nissan or some of the other companies really struggling right now.
Hmm.
It's interesting
Yeah,
times
we'll, s-
already
we'll have to
before
wait
any
and see.
political stuff getting in there. But
There's one more question that I was gonna comment about reliability. Is it in question for the four-cylinder turbo hybrid? Uh, Let me see what everyone is saying. Everyone, so I hear so many comments on my channel. I think Kirk too that the Turbo 4 hybrid and the Turbo 4 2.4, I should say, is not gonna be reliable. And but to be honest, right now there aren't any proof of that. I know we have some transmission issues with the Tacoma, and of course the Tundra had some engine issues, some I should say some serious engine issues in terms of
right,
manufacturing, but nothing so far from the
yeah,
2.4 turbo hybrid, either hybrid or non-hybrid. And So, I mean, I mean, a year or so we could still see something happen. But right now it's being reliable, and some of the mechanics I've spoken to said they haven't had too many issues. I heard some occasional issues with the 2.4 turbo on Tacoma when it first came out, and so I'm not
I heard
saying
that with
that,
the
right?
NX too.
With the
There's
NX, yeah,
there's
yeah,
some issues when the NX debuted with that engine because it
yeah.
was the first
It was the
Lexus
first
to have that
Lexus
engine.
engine, that's true. But right now on the current models, I haven't heard too much. So, would it be as reliable as other like older naturally aspirated engine? No, probably not.
No,
But there's nothing to indicate that there could be some serious problems
right?
long term that I can see so far. But it's a very complicated engine. That's the only thing. Turbo, hybrid, small displacement engine. I mean, it's sort of the worst combination if you want long-term reliability, generally speaking. So yeah, something could go wrong, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? Let me see. Kirk, any other questions you want to take here? Let me see. I'm just trying to catch up a little bit with live stream comments. And also, hey guys, by the way, it's Christmas time. So give Kirk lots of love here. And if you do super chat or something, we can see that as a highlight and we can almost prioritize a little bit just because we'll see it first. Let me see. Oh, some Jojo said they purchased a 24 Forerunner Pro. Yeah, you know what? That's still a good buy. I
Mm-hmm.
would still say if you can find some new 24 Forerunners, not the 25, I still think it's a good buy. Yes, it's outdated. It's still a pretty solid car, and I wouldn't hesitate to buy that. Let me see. And Kirk, anything else you want to cover in terms of questions? Lots of comments here, but
Yeah,
just
it's hard
can't quite
thumbing through
pinpoint.
them.
Hmm. Yeah, so if I miss some of your questions, guys, just maybe type it up again, just because things it keeps scrolling and we miss on it. Because then we're kind of really behind
Okay, I
here.
like this is a good one because we like future
Okay.
product. Christopher
Yeah.
Mueller says, "What future
Mhm.
model are you most excited for?"
Lexus model, right?
Yeah, sorry, specifically
Oh,
Lexus model.
okay. Well, I know that one, but you answer first, Kirk.
Okay, I'm gonna have to say what's gonna happen with the IS is a huge mystery. I'm a big ES fan too, but I feel like they're not going to deviate too much from the current K platform and kind of where the Camry went.
Hmm.
But the IS, I don't even. It seems like Lexus doesn't know to do with it because
Hmm.
I think the current model is going on longer than they expected it to. Um, it has the V8 still, which is fantastic. I mean, you've had the
Hmm.
IS 500 and
I did own that for a short time.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
did. Yeah.
It's cool more from a like oh, it has an old school V8
Hmm.
and like it sounds good, it's powerful, but like
It's not memorable.
it has a
Not,
lot of issues in terms of performance and feel.
yeah. Yeah,
But
it's not a
it
memorable car to
no,
own. That's the problem with that
no,
car.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not it's a car that it
Mm,
would take some modifications I feel like to really enjoy.
yeah. They should have they should have introduced it as, ISF instead of IS 500 F Sport Performance, whatever
Yeah,
the whole name
they
was.
didn't want to spend
I
that
mean,
much
just
money on
should
it.
have just gone all the way. I mean, if you're going to put V8, might as well do that. But again, COVID decision thing, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
it could have
but
been.
what I'm most excited about the potential, whatever it might be called, LFR or GT3 or
Yes, for sure.
whatever that high performance model, which I'm almost certain that will come out. It looks like all things pointing out to being introduced maybe in even 2026
Yeah.
Tokyo Auto Salon. Not gonna happen in 2025 Auto Salon.
No.
So
It could
yeah,
happen at
a
Japan Mobility
Tokyo
Show
Japan
that
Mobility Show. Yeah,
we'll
you're
hit
right.
up
It could
again.
happen. Yeah. Yeah. So Kirk and I'll definitely be there. And this time we're going to be a little bit better prepared to cover that show. And yeah, Kirk and I can maybe take some side trips before that.
I
Maybe I don't
as
know if you
much as
can.
prepared we are, it's any auto
It's
show's
chaos.
chaos.
It's so chaotic. Yeah, it's crazy.
So it doesn't, I mean,
Yeah,
the fact that we got, I don't know, 15 videos in or whatever, I
I
mean,
know. It's
what more could we have
crazy.
done?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've got to know the Lexus and Toyota PR team really
That's right.
well the last several months. I've been seeing them in Japan over and over again. So hopefully, I'm hoping that they'll give us a little bit more time than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. That's often allocated. But
It's all
we'll
about
figure.
who you know, right, David?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
we got a couple more
mhm.
super chats.
Yeah, you gotta cover that.
Raymundo
Hmm.
says, well, I'll just hit the like button on his super chat because
Hmm.
he didn't say
He doesn't have a
anything.
question. Yeah,
So I
that's true.
appreciate the $2 super chat. Um, Marcelo also he's the one that asked about the V6 on a Honda versus the 2.4 on a turbo on a Toyota, but he also asked my opinion since I've seen both of them in person, the Passport and the Forerunner. Which do I like better?
Hmm.
Top to bottom, I like the Passport better. Now, if you're going to do extreme off roading where you need crazy like articulation, then yeah, the Forerunner. But like if you have light trails, the Passport's going to be a better vehicle. And if on road most of the time, the Passport will be a better vehicle. The
Hmm.
V6 is going to, I mean, the
Feel
V6
better
alone
too.
is going to be a decision
Hmm.
maker for a lot of people. And then the styling, the Passport looks great. The
Hmm.
interior, especially the Trail Sport, not the Trail Sport Premium or whatever, there's like a more expensive Trail Sport. I didn't really like that interior. But the base Trail Sport had kind of like this cloth like interior that felt kind of old school Honda. I
Hmm.
really, really liked it. And it's the second row seats are far more roomy. The back seat in the Forerunner is a joke. And I can't believe
Hmm.
there's even a third row in some of them. But like there's just no leg room. And I mean,
Hmm.
David might have a little bit more, but for me, there's nothing back there. So
Hmm.
just from an everyday usability aspect, the Passport is going to be a better vehicle for most people. But I mean, David hasn't seen, I don't think, the new Passport yet.
No, not in person. No,
Okay.
I haven't.
But
Yeah, yeah.
what are your thoughts? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Oh, I mean, first of all, people forget that all these cars from Honda are all unitized body,
Yes.
monocoque body,
Yes.
and then we're comparing the body on the frame from like 4Runner and Land Cruiser. They're all body on the frame. So fundamentally, the two are engineered differently, and so monocoque body will always handle better, will always be smoother, will just be less cumbersome to drive compared to TNGA or body on frame. Although I will say the Land Cruiser that I have handles really
It
well
does.
for a
It does.
large
Yeah.
body on frame, really, really well.
Yeah.
So I suspect the Forerunner will handle quite well,
Yeah.
but well,
The
never
Tacoma handles well, you know?
and Tacoma handles well, yeah. But just the basic engineering principle behind a body on frame that sits tall and center of gravity is higher just cannot compete with a low profile, low center of gravity unitized body. So the Honda models will handle better and that probably and corner better. Um, and since we haven't driven the Forerunner, we can't comment too much. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I do like body and frame trucks though. People know that. So if ideally if our TNGA model had V6, that would be ideal. Which is why I like the GX a lot.
Yeah.
And even though it's turbo and not naturally aspirated.
All right.
So
We have a
yeah,
super chat from Mike again.
yeah.
He
Hmm.
says he's active in tons of websites, pages, groups where the 2.4 turbo from Toyota is in cars and SUVs, trucks, etc. Um, so far, he says it's off to a great start. No catastrophic failures from what he's heard of. So
Yeah, I think.
very different situation compared to the twin turbo V6 from
Hmm.
Toyota.
I agree. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, just to comment a little bit about the Tundra's V6 engine problem. I think it's also a little bit taken out of context and it's gone a bit crazy because the actual number of engine with that debris problem, like we don't know the exact number, but I'm
Mm,
hearing that it's actually a pretty small number. Um,
Yes.
like less than 5%. I think maybe even less than 3%. So we
Yeah,
can't
it's not like
simply
Tundras are
assume,
dropping like flies.
yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
can't say that all the cars are bad, that all the engines are poor. Yeah, so, and I haven't been on the LX forum, but I don't even know, I haven't heard anyone who actually said my engine stalled on the LX. So I think the numbers are pretty small,
Yeah.
and mo most new cars have a debris problem. It's not new.
Yeah.
This problem is not new. I mean, many cars sometimes do have catastrophic engine failure
Mm-hmm.
due to some kind of
Yep.
debris. That's, I wouldn't say common, but it happens quite a bit, more than
Mm-hmm.
you think. So that's just
Yeah.
to comment on that. But
Yeah.
anyway, getting back to, you have another super
Yeah, we
chat.
got a few more super chats
Yeah,
and
see,
plenty of
it's
comments
good.
too to hit in as well. And we'll
Hmm.
try to get to them. But thanks guys for the super chats. David Jen, $5. Thank you so much. He says, big fan of the
Mm,
live stream with both of you. We
thank you.
really enjoy it too. We both have very busy lives. David's main job is not YouTube, and my main job is arguably juggling family life, right? So
Hmm.
we're doing our best here to
Yes,
meet
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So he goes on to say his wife, sorry, I clicked something. His wife and him bought a new 23 GX
Mm,
460 at the beginning of the year. Well,
okay.
David's owned how many GX 460s, and I've driven, I mean, I used to sell them. So, like, the GX 460 is a completely different vehicle
Different,
than the
totally
new
different.
GX
Yeah.
550. It
Yeah, so we
is,
have,
other than
yeah, so
being
we,
body on frame and having a Lexus badge, there's just no similarities.
mm. So we had two GX, 2023 GX. We sold one to buy the Land Cruiser. And of course, the new Land Cruiser and the new GX has more features, more updated stuff. But in terms of driving feel, not just because of V8, but also because it's got the hydraulic power steering
Yeah.
and it's got that really rock solid feel
Feels
in
like a
terms of
tank.
suspension and chassis.
Yeah.
The thing feels so tight.
Yeah.
I mean, the GX, the 23 GX, which is basically a Land Cruiser Prado elsewhere
Yeah.
without the V8
Yeah.
engine, I mean, feels more like a Land Cruiser than the Land Cruiser. And so, I have a good friend of mine that came to visit me from Japan,
That's
and he
true.
loves cars. He drove both my Land Cruiser and the GX, and he said, how could you compare these two? The feel is so different. And so I actually miss the GX because I drive the Land Cruiser now all the time. And the cars, the new TNGA models will never feel like that. It's just fundamentally different
Mm-hmm.
architecture.
Mm-hmm. They
So I
handle
agree.
better, but
Yeah, yeah,
they don't feel they feel like they've stripped out the refinement for better braking and better handling.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. The new Land Cruiser and the new GX definitely handles better,
Yeah.
corners better, it's more stable,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't have that solid feel of
Yeah.
the old Toyota
They
Lexus
feel like hollow or
feel.
something. They just
Yeah,
they
it
don't
feels light.
they feel light.
They feel
Yeah.
light. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'll never sell that 23 GX. I say that only because I like it, but of course
It's
we might
so
end up
good.
changing it to the new
Yeah.
GX. Who knows?
Gosh. The thing I harp on that old GX for is the squishy brake pedal. That thing is it's
Mm,
bad. It's bad.
yeah,
You
it's a
get
bit
used to it.
squishy. It's
So
because it's just
squishy.
so heavy.
It
The
even makes a
cars. Yeah.
squishy noise when you push
Oh,
it.
really? Yours did that? Mine's not so bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, our GX, but it just it dives a lot. You step on the
Oh
brake
yeah.
and it just dives
Yep.
like the old Forerunner, right?
Yep.
Um, okay, what is happening with the new RAV4? This is a
Oh
good
yeah. This
one.
is loaded from
Oh,
Jarrett
this is a loaded
Henshaw.
question.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's been
Do you want
delayed
to
like
bring up
everything.
those? Do you want to bring up those spy shot
Yeah, let me
things,
see if
maybe?
I don't know. I may have deleted those spy
Oh, really?
shots.
Okay, okay.
I have legal access to them because I paid for them.
Mm,
Let me see if I have them. I don't want to get your guys' hopes up for the
yeah, that's okay.
RAV4.
But I can talk about it for a bit. So, aside from the spy photos, I mean, I can kind of predict, probably with near accuracy, and so could Kirk. I mean, you'll be hybrid only, just like a Camry.
Yeah,
I'm
I
and
don't
I'm
have
100
them.
and I'm 100% sure that you will also have the plug-in hybrid as well. And the plug-in hybrid will be just an extension of the today's plug-in hybrids. So most likely you will have improved range, maybe 10% better range. But fundamentally, I don't think the technology will change. We can almost estimate the interior in terms of what's going to happen with the basic architecture. It's going to have a larger infotainment system. Oh, there you go. You did find
Yeah,
the
I
picture.
just watching the video that I made. So,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it looks like it's gonna have the okay. So, I mean, I break it down in this, but in terms of the design, it looks like it's kind of going to be an SUV Camry potentially. Like it has kind of
Hmm.
that hammerhead design, which that was the big question. Is it going to have that hammerhead headlight slash hood design that we
Hmm.
see on kind of the sedans? We haven't seen it incorporated into too many SUVs. There's an urban cruiser in the European market. It's a Suzuki BEV that's been rebadged
Yeah.
that just got announced. That has the
Yeah.
hammerhead design.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it could
But the
Toyota could be doing that. But go ahead, David.
but the problem is that I have a problem with that photo that people are talking at the same time as this photo, the one that I just showed right now. Because this one I can't see, it's a bit fuzzy, but this is a photo that in the Japanese descriptions that I have no idea what it is. I happen to take a picture of it, blah blah blah. But somehow it got translated to this is a new RAV4, and that is not necessarily what I'm hearing from Japan. I know that it has the rectangular
Wheel
wheel
arches.
wells, and
Yeah.
that is a telltale sign.
Yeah. But
But
it has Mazda wheels. It looks like it has Mazda
yeah,
wheels.
I don't. I actually think this might be a CX-5, and
Could be the
you
CX5.
can't decide it based on the wheel wells because that
Yeah.
camouflage could be camouflage in the actual shape of the wheel wells. And then even the other photo that can you bring up the other photo again, Kirk?
Like
Yeah,
this
that
one.
one there. So yes, it definitely does kind of look like a RAV4, and even the honeycomb grill
Yeah.
below.
Right
But
there.
if you actually look at the Mitsubishi Outlander, any Mitsubishi product, it has almost identical honeycomb design right underneath the front grille, and
Mm-hmm.
then the slope of the front grille there and the shape of the emblem actually looks like a Mitsubishi to me. So I
Mm-hmm.
know it's probably a RAV4
Yeah,
because of the wheel
the
well
hood is
design.
exactly like a current gen RAV4.
Yeah, but if
So
you,
they're
I don't know if you can bring up a Mitsubishi Outlander, but the Mitsubishi, whatever the next size down one, that's gonna go through a changeover
the
soon.
Outlander Sport,
Yeah, it's called, yeah, we
or
have a
is it
different
the
name
Eclipse
here.
Cross? I don't know. It's
Either one,
Mitsubishi.
they're supposed to be renewed, sorry, remodeled, right, soon. And that I don't see, I'm trying to look carefully, but that sloping of the front grille, I don't know, it doesn't look like a RAV4 to me.
Oh, this is a concept
Yeah, that's a
of the
concept
yeah,
car,
yeah.
but it's just so much like a Mitsubishi. But I gotta take it apart and compare, piece by piece, like the mirror, the A pillar, B pillar, C pillar, and I intend to do that, and I can
Yeah.
probably kind of figure out if it really is
Yeah. So
a
so
RAV4. I mean, it.
the window line here changes on the front window, so it kind of curves
Mm,
up.
yeah,
This window right here on the C pillar area is identical. This
I
square window is identical, but then
I
you get
know,
back and
but
then it changes a little bit more.
but then
So
if you look at all the other crossover, they all look
they
like
all,
that.
yeah, they all
They
very
all look
similar.
exactly the same, and the mirror is a different shape, right? The rear view mirror, I should say, is a different shape. So yes, it does look so close like this, but if you bring another crossover, it looks identical too.
Mm.
So because the D pillar, A, B, C, D, C pillar, I guess, sorry, at the back, to me that doesn't look like a Toyota design to me, but I
Here's the
could be
Outlander.
wrong.
This is good. This is good. This is good. I like
Yeah,
talking
look
about
at
this
that
because
one.
you
So
and I don't get a chance to kind of throw ideas off each other
no,
very
yeah.
much.
So see the grill underneath the Mitsubishi emblem? There's a honeycomb grill that's almost in the exact same
Yeah,
location as the.
let me pull up the grill
Oh,
situation.
you're doing a really good job there. It helps to bring
Yeah.
both cars in place. Yeah,
I
look
mean,
at that.
this just went through it's
It's
going
exactly like
through
a Mitsubishi.
it's not exactly like all right. So
Not exactly the
this
same, but
piece is fatter here on the Mitsubishi. Honeycomb grills are fairly common, right, in the industry.
yeah, but it's
The
but
Crown
what
Signia kind of has
but
a
yeah,
honeycomb-ish lattice grill to it.
but it's in the same location as the
Hmm.
spy photo, and then the emblem, the angle of the emblem. So, I mean, this is not an Outlander, just to be clear, but I'm just saying that it's got a much more Mitsubishi vibe, other than the wheel wells. But even the C pillar, see the design of the C pillar on the Mitsubishi, it's got the same kind of a kink in the back there.
This one's
Uh,
this one's a skinnier little piece here
yeah,
than what we
yeah,
see here.
but the I guess the D pillar we call it, the very back
Oh,
end,
the
that
back,
part.
the back.
Yeah, that design there, it's again a little bit Mitsubishi-ish. Um, so I don't know. Who knows? It probably ultimately it probably still is a RAV4, but it could just very well be a different
It could be
Mitsubishi
something
product.
different, right? We don't know
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. I think I mean, you and I see different things, and
Mhm.
that's good. But oh, a little Honda ad. But
Okay.
I think it is the Rav4. I think
Probably,
they're
pro- it
testing
probably
it in
is.
multiple markets at the same time,
Hmm. Yeah.
and seeing what looks to be the hammerhead design is probably the biggest giveaway on this
Hmm.
being a Rav4. But yeah, it's probably gonna be fully hybrid. I was
Hmm.
told that, okay, so I, I have pretty good sources, really solid sources, saying that this vehicle was going to have the Arene software, but Arene, it's not ready to be
Hmm.
launched with the RAV4 and vice versa. So the Arene is not going to be seen until 2027 now
Hmm.
on Lexus. So
Yeah.
this will
Yeah.
have the newest safety systems on it,
Hmm.
probably three and a half, maybe four. I don't know what they're going to be up to on it.
Hmm.
Hybrid, plug-in hybrid, potentially fully battery electric option as well with the new battery plant coming online in North Carolina.
Hmm.
And I don't know what else to say about it. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be
I
great.
mean,
They're not going
I
to change
think
the formula too much.
no. Like if I have a little bit more time, I would like break it down and can zoom into the wheels, into the brake, that you can see a little bit of brake there.
Yeah,
Look
the
at the
image
pattern.
quality is not very good though.
Yeah. And the
This
yeah,
image
it's
here
pretty.
was like all these images.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so I kept thinking that these were not professionally spy photos. These are all like
No,
people on the
no. Yeah,
street.
people taking it. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was
But
one
see
recently
that
that was professional. I think it was the
yeah.
Mitsubishi, sorry, the Subaru Outback, the redesign.
Hmm.
Those were
Hmm.
spy shots that I paid for, and I could talk about those. But
Okay.
those are pretty exciting too.
So yeah, like even the tail light design of that one you're showing me right now, to me it doesn't look like Toyota, but I know it's got a little bit
Right.
line across it. I mean, what I should probably do is look at the camouflage pattern because car companies tend to use a
S-
similar
They
pattern.
they could, yeah.
So yeah, so if I, this camouflage to me is not a typical Toyota camouflage, but um, anyway, when I have a time, I'll try to figure out a little bit more and see if I can get that sorted, or maybe in Japan they might have more spy photos
Yeah,
soon.
I mean, it could be a CX-5, right? Because
Yeah, it doesn't look like a
but like
RAV4 to
this is
me.
kind of that lobster claw or
Hmm.
hammerhead design. It
Yeah.
looks like it, very
And
similar
if
to
it
the
does
Camry.
have the square looking wheel wells, it could very well be either Mitsubishi or Mazda trying to look more like a RAV4.
Could
So,
be, could be.
yeah,
Time will tell.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll figure. I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll get more previews or sneak photos sometime soon. But I should try to break it down like I used to do with the Tundra spy photos. That was my original, start of my channel. I spent the most of my time figuring out the Tundra stuff, and maybe I need to do that with RAV4. Oh yeah, if you zoom in, that helps a little bit actually. Yeah,
but
you're.
that's just my video
Oh,
zooming
that's your
in.
video zooming in.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
could find
So
these images back on the internet and do it, but we need to
okay.
keep moving. We need to
Yeah.
keep
Sorry.
moving.
Yeah. Let's keep on going. Yeah.
A couple more super chats here that I haven't got to yet. Fact,
Hmm.
fact check. $5. Appreciate you. What should be my next daily driver be? Should it be an Acura, a Honda, Toyota? Let's see here. Lexus, fun, reliable, and manual. Okay, well, there
Manual.
is no
Mm.
Lexus manual,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Preferred manual. Okay, so you're just saying preferred. Up to
Mm.
30K budget. Okay, so are you also incorporating, I'm assuming like used cars as well, not brand new. Wow, that's a
Hmm.
loaded question
That's a loaded
because
question.
we don't have enough information.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want manual, that right off the bat
Honda.
removes many
Yeah,
cars. And if to be honest, Honda, I think makes the best manual.
they're really good.
So,
I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to drive a night
mm.
review of the WRX TS.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a cool car too. I
it's a
actually
cool.
really
It's
like the
very, very
WRX.
expensive.
Yeah.
My goodness,
It's
I
expensive?
cannot recommend. Yeah, it's like
Oh, okay.
46K.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, where the base model,
Crazy.
the same horsepower is
Mm-hmm.
10K less, and you can get them on
Mm.
discount.
Right,
So,
right. What about how much is a Civic Si in the US?
it's about 32K, something like that.
So right off the top of my head, I would say like Civic Si. I drove
Yeah,
it a couple times and I think it's an incredible car for the
I
money.
love
It's
the
fun
Civic
to
Si.
drive.
Yeah,
I would drive that as a daily
yeah.
driver.
It gets
It's
really good fuel economy on the highway, not
yeah,
so much in
yeah,
town, but on the highway, it's really good.
yeah. It's reliable. Yeah, it's I mean it's a Civic. Maybe it's not super exciting, but well, how much is a
They
base
drive real. They
Acura
really.
Integra? Can you get an Integra for around 30K?
Integra, it's more like 36K for the manual.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So maybe it's out of your budget, but that would
yeah,
be another good one to consider, I
yeah.
guess.
The SI is a really good car.
That's a really good
Really
car,
good
yeah.
car.
Beautiful car for the money, yeah.
Yeah, that one's hard to beat.
Okay, did you miss anything else
Yeah.
here? Oh, there's quite a bit of comments.
Mike came back with another 5 spot. Twin turbo V6 was a manufacturer issue with production, metal shavings still in there. It was not a small issue. It was a daily failure rate on 2223. I don't know what that means.
Hmm.
By mid 2024 plus.
Okay, I
Okay,
don't
so
see the
that's his
question for some
recommendation.
reason. I don't, did it just pop up now?
It
Question?
yeah,
Oh, here, I see it now.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It was a manufacturer with production metal shaving still in there. It was not a small issue. No, so it's not a small issue for the car that was affected, but it is a
Yeah.
small percentage of the engine that were affected, is what I'm trying to say.
The, right.
Yeah, so it's definitely not a small issue. It's a major issue if you had that problem, but
Yes. And
I think it's less than 5% of the engine have
yeah,
that issue right now. So that's what I was
yeah,
trying to say earlier.
yeah.
Um,
And but
was it
5%. Let's say it's
five to
5%, but they
yeah, my
recalled
guess.
over 100,000,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So they decided to recall every engine
Yeah, they
regardless
do.
of the percentage. So like I was talking to Ahmed from Car Care Nut and
Hmm.
some other people too. And you know what typically Toyota would do in a situation like this is that you take your car to your dealership and then you demonstrate that it has that problem or that symptoms, and then they replace the
Yeah.
engine. But very rare would they would just replace everything. That's a
Yes.
very rare
Yes.
situation, right?
Yep. Very rare.
So
But I
mhm.
also think the jury's still out on the hybrid because I've had people
Mm.
personally reach out to me that have had engine failures with low miles on the
Okay.
hybrid model.
What
So
was it on
even though
the
that
which
hasn't, say that
the
again.
Tundra? Was it a
Yeah.
Tundra or
Yeah, it was a Tundra
okay.
hybrid.
Okay.
So the
Yeah,
jury's
so
still out on that, I think.
yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I agree that you just wait. I guess that's
Yeah,
the bottom
just wait.
line.
Yeah.
By 2024 or later, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
think
would
that's
have
good,
fixed it.
solid advice.
Yeah, I
2024
agree.
plus. Yep. Yeah, great
Okay.
questions out there and great
Yeah,
comments from
really
you
good.
guys. Yeah, we love
It makes
good conversation.
Yeah, it's easy to keep on going here when you got questions here. So would the new RAV4 come out before the new NX? Yeah, always. Yeah, they'll always come up with the RAV4 first,
Oh
and then
yeah.
probably a year later, sometime year and a half later, they'll come up with the NX version.
It depends.
Mm.
So that was tough. So when I was selling for Lexus, the NX was a new product then. It came out
Right.
in 2014, I think, as a 2015, somewhere in that time frame.
Mm,
And then just 2 years after it came out or so, the new RAV4 on the new, I think it was the 20, was it the 2019 model year?
mm-hmm. Oh, new
That came,
RAV4?
say that again.
So sorry, what did you just say,
So
Kirk?
the new RAV4 came out when the new RAV4, should I say
Mm-hmm.
the TNGA-K RAV4 came out
Mm-hmm.
when the NX was kind of mid-cycle in its
Mm-hmm.
first generation. And so it was tough being a Lexus salesperson and seeing the RAV4 get the fourth gen hybrid when the NX was still in the third gen hybrid. They're like
Mm. That's right. Yeah.
big difference
Yeah,
between
there
third and
is.
fourth
Yeah.
gen hybrid.
I
And it
agree.
was tough. It was a tough times because the new RAV4 it brought new technology that the NX didn't have then, better powertrain.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like its strength though for Lexus, obviously it's quieter, smoother, but it had the more powerful turbo, the 2-liter turbo.
Mm-hmm.
which I still really like that. I like that 2 liter turbo better than the 2.4. Not It's not quite as
Mm-hmm.
powerful, but it
I
seemed to be a little bit more refined.
Yeah, if it just feels a little bit more natural, I think.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, the 2.4, I think they're trying too hard to make it feel impressive,
yeah,
by maximizing torque and power, and
that's what it is. They maximize
it's
the torque
trying
on
too
it.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still have your video running, I think,
Oh,
though.
sorry. Yeah, I do. I'm looking at your video. So let me get this out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So let me see. I don't know if I should I go back to the, do you want to go back to my community tab questions too? I
Let's
keep
see. Yeah, I still have that up.
so which would be, maybe we can't answer all of them, but
I think
do you want to?
this is a lot of people talk about minivans. I love minivans.
Mm-hmm,
This Daniel Mars guy's talking about the high ace coaster. So just I mean the coaster is an RV, but
mm-hmm,
why don't we see the high ace? I know the answer, but I just want
mm-hmm.
you answer really well. So why don't we see the high
Yeah.
ace, the Alphard, the Pro Ace,
Right.
some of the K minivans? Why don't we get when we just have the
Mm-hmm.
Sienna?
Yeah,
Well,
so I mean, the simple answer is that Toyota always engineers and develops car based on the market acceptance or market value. So they know that smaller minivans don't do well. It's never done very well in the past. It might be different now, but in the past they didn't do well, which means that when they begin to design a new version of those smaller or lighter minivans, they don't take into account the emission standard, the safety testing, the crash testing for a North American market. So by the time they finish designing it, they can't say, hey, maybe things have changed and we can bring, Lexus LM to the US. It's hard to do that because it was never engineered that way. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation because you make an assumption about something and you continue on with the engineering and development and manufacturing. And later, if the market changes, you can't respond to it. And because North American crash testing and safety requirements and emission are some of the more stringent. So you can't just take a car that's certified for Japan and make it work in the US easily. So that's mainly it's just they know it's not gonna sell. A smaller minivans don't sell well here, especially when most people wants to buy crossovers. So that's the simple answer. A bit of a long answer, but simple answer. Kirk, you're still there?
yep, I am. I'm just
Yeah.
reading through the comments.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
there's this. You guys have there's a lot of comments. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get through them.
So, oh, do you want to, next question there on my community tab, it's about the Mazda rotary engine. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? That might be interesting.
Oh, this one right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cars and relevant specs.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting to hear any news or guesses you have about the upcoming Mazda rotary engines. Additionally, if you have time, it might be nice to hear any fascinating facts you have about Yamaha. I got the Yamaha
Mm-hmm.
headphones on, so that's
That's right.
there's my interesting fact. I didn't like my Yamaha MT-09,
Mm-hmm.
and people roasted me for that. But motorcycles are like enthusiast cars. Like it's very tailor made to people's personal preferences, and most dealerships don't let you like test things out before you buy. It's just like, wait, it's a
Okay,
motorcycle.
yeah.
They don't trust you, or it's just
Yeah,
like
right.
they've
Okay.
been burned before. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you can just test drive a gajillion motorcycles like you can with automobiles. Like the risk
Mm-hmm.
for the dealership's too high. So,
Right,
anyways,
right.
there's my fun fact about my Yamaha MT-09. I didn't like it, but if other people love it, more power to them. It's a really cool
Mm-hmm.
bike, has lots of features for the money. It's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy I don't have it anymore. So,
Yeah,
but
and
go you hit Yamaha and then we'll talk about
sure.
Mazda.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, Yamaha as not just as a collaborator, but as an engineer and partner to Toyota have done a lot of projects in the
Oh,
past and also currently. Um, People don't realize that there's a fair amount of collaboration going on between the two. So there are some components that you might not know that was designed by Yamaha, for example. So that I think the two relationships are the relationship between the two, I should say, are very important,
hmm.
and you'll see more of that coming down the road. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, Yamaha's under Toyota's umbrella to an extent. Mazda is, Suzuki is, uh, Subaru, obviously. I'm sure there are more. So we're looking at the new twin rotor engine here from the Mobility Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what was surprising about this is that it's set up like it would be in an RX-8 or an RX-7. It's longitudinally mounted instead of horizontally mounted. And you might be
Mm-hmm.
saying, Kirk, why does that matter? Well, I don't know if I have the image here, but they had there also the rotary engine horizontally mounted in the range extender, MX-30 range extender. I'm looking at Toyotas. Here's some more. Here, this is where it's kind of in parallel to the wheels, or should I say, yeah, in parallel to the wheels, like in the MX-30, but that's
Mm-hmm.
more of a front wheel drive sort of usage out of it, where it's not. That's the thing. It doesn't. This doesn't directly power the wheels. Even the
No.
MX-30,
Yeah.
it's a generator.
Generator. That's right.
Here,
Yeah.
you see the twin rotor, 1, 2, and then you see an electric motor here. So this would be a performance hybrid rotary.
Mm-hmm.
They teased it, and then it's just left to people like us to speculate what the heck.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we were in Japan last year, Mazda showed off the, gosh, what did
SP,
iconic
or
SP, iconic
iconic
SP. Yeah,
SP. Yeah. Yeah.
such a strange name, but
I know it's a
right,
very
it
strange
just
name.
that's right, lost in translation sort of thing, right? So that was also, that had nothing to do with this. That was talking about how it would be a generator and it would be fully electric driven. If I'm wrong, right, David?
Mhm.
It would be
Yeah,
impressive
that's
power wise, but it would be heavy. You would have a big battery pack in there.
hmm
And I
but
almost feel like Toyota, because Akio Toyota recently in publications have said, hey, my favorite engines are boxers and rotary engines, not
hmm
anything Toyota makes. I think Akio's fingerprints might be on this, saying, hey, don't use your beloved rotary engine as just a generator.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
still time left to get some fun out of this like we
yeah.
used to. You can still electrify it and get a little bit more
hmm
torque. That's what rotaries struggle with, right? Is that torque,
hmm
but they rev high, get really nice power. You could still turbo this like an RX-7 turbo.
hmm
I mean, Toyota's doing turbo hybrids, right? Why couldn't Mazda do it with a rotary? Now people
hmm
just say that sounds like the most unreliable thing I've ever heard of, but it would be cool. So
hmm
who knows? I'll
Yeah,
throw you the baton.
yeah. I mean, again, sources like the Best Car magazine kind of went back and forth, a couple of different options, but the latest one is that the rotary engine will be powering the vehicle, not being a generator. So, and again, it may be hybrid, turbo and hybrid. But so I'm pretty sure that, especially with the kind of name iconic SPs, special performance or something, whatever it stood for, I'm pretty sure that particular model is coming out. There's lots of evidence that iconic SP will become a production model and that it will be a rotary powered vehicle, with and without hybrid. We don't know yet, but so I don't think, I know people are worried about being a fully electric car with a generator. I don't think that's happening anymore because even Toyota is, re-emphasizing hybrids and, shying away a little bit from a fully electric models right now. So that's my best guess. So I think that car will come out probably in 2026 or 2027. And if you go back, like, when was that? About 4 years ago when Mazda had this little preview video of what looks like a future Miata or something. Do you remember that car? That
Yeah,
one actually looks identical to iconic SP.
yeah,
So
yeah,
the design, it's almost certain that you'll look like that, I think.
yeah. I would
We
agree.
don't know we don't know the powertrain yet, but all right. You got one more?
Yeah,
You
fact
have one
check.
more?
He's a
Yeah.
neighbor to me up in Ocala.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
see.
So neighbors in Florida doesn't mean, because Florida people think Florida is not as big as it is. They don't realize it takes forever. For example, TRD John, when I saw him this past week, it took him 11 hours to get from Pensacola to Fort Lauderdale. Of course, there's a
Wow.
couple stops in there, but like,
Really? That's
yeah,
crazy.
It's crazy, right? It's a very long state. Anyways, Ocala is
Mhm.
about 4.5 hours from me.
Okay.
Um, Looking for used manual because there's more interesting options, right? Because new manuals, they're dwindling.
Right.
Aesthetics and 20 plus years reliability. Is that what you're saying? Drive a fit now. Do you have a fit manual? Um,
I guess he probably has. I guess I don't
I
know.
would assume you have a
Maybe.
fit manual. Maybe not.
But this is a follow-up question,
Yeah, it's
right,
a
to the
follow up
previous one,
question
right? Yeah.
to what he was mentioning earlier. I have no idea
Hmm.
about the reliability of uh, some of the German offerings with the manual. Don't even want to take a stab with
No,
that.
I wouldn't. Yeah, if you're saying you really want to prioritize reliability, you gotta kind of stick with
Yeah,
proven Honda slash
yeah.
Toyota
And
models, I think.
there's just not a lot of Toyota manuals out there,
No.
unless you're looking really old. But
Can you
go ahead.
buy like 2 or 3 year old Honda Civic Type R for 30 in the US?
No, no Type R's. No,
No?
I
Not
don't
like
think
a
so.
used one
The
though.
old FK8s. I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No, okay. Maybe.
Maybe. Let me go to let me look
Even
at
the
them.
used GR Corolla will be too expensive. So maybe
Yeah,
it's
and
still like
I don't know
Civic
about the
Si.
reliability of a GR Corolla. So
Yeah, that one's hard to
a
tell.
normal Corolla hatchback manual, those things are
Hmm.
slow, but it's gonna be bulletproof.
Reliable. Yeah. But
Super,
they're not
super.
fun. They're
Yeah,
not fun to drive, just to be clear.
they're
They're
not.
not absolutely
No,
not fun to drive.
not fun to
The
drive.
Civic is much more fun to
Oh yeah,
drive.
100%.
Yeah. I
Let me
still
go.
think Civic Si, even if it's a used
You know
one, would be the better car. Or maybe
what? If you can
WRX,
find
older
the
WRX.
yeah, see yeah, if you can find a Mazda 3 manual, those are
Mm,
really rare, but I hear those
mm,
are really, really, really reliable.
maybe, yeah. That's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
That's not a bad choice
So I
either.
looking at like a 2020 Civic Si has a
Mm,
bunch of miles. So you can see those around 27K
okay.
or
Yep.
even less. I'm looking at a 24 Civic Si for 27K. I mean, that's
That's a
close
good
to new
price.
price.
I
Close
mean,
to
that's close. Yeah. I mean,
it's
good.
close.
That's a good value, I think,
A
overall.
22 Si for 28K.
Mm.
20 another one for 27K, and there's
Mhm.
price
They're
drops
holding
happening. SIs are really, really good.
they're
Let
holding
me
value then. Yeah.
see like Type R, if Type R is even on here. I might not have any in my area that I can even look at.
Oh, okay. I see.
Here we go, 45K. Those are all
Okay.
new.
That's still
Let's see.
expensive, I guess.
Here's one, but it's got a lot of miles on it. Let me pull this up. 76,000 miles for 32K.
Mm,
But you got to realize
it's
most Type R's are going to be driven hard too.
yeah, yeah.
So mileage is going to vary
Hmm.
on how
But
fresh
older
that.
Civic Type R, if you can find the low mileage in good condition, and something that was taken care of, yeah, I guess it's around the $30,000
Yeah,
plus or minus a few
typically. Yeah,
$1,000
here's a
more.
21 that has 75,000
Yeah,
miles,
yeah. Interesting.
87,000 miles, 31K. Here's one
I
for
mean,
almost 100,000 miles. That's so many miles
mm,
since 20
I mean, to be honest,
19.
in terms of fun to drive, the Golf R are just
Oh yeah.
blast to drive for the price, like in
Yes,
that
yes,
price
yes,
range,
yes.
but they're not very reliable. They're not
Yeah.
super unreliable, but they're also not very reliable.
Pretty
So and
average.
it's when something goes wrong, it's expensive to fix. But in terms of just fun to drive
They're really
and
fun.
value for money,
Really, really
a
fun.
couple year old Golf Rs are fantastic. Golf
I
R or even Golf
I
GTI.
have only driven the GTI, so
Mm. I
Golf
almost bought
R
a Golf
competes with
R.
this car, and
Yeah,
the
Golf R
GTI
is.
competes with the STI, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Cool
So
cars.
yeah,
Okay.
best of luck to you, fact check. Hopefully you can
Mm,
find something good out there. I personally love the looks of a GTI over the Type R's or even an SI, but if you're going to own it long term, there's probably a little bit more peace of mind with a Honda
mm.
or a Mazda manual.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
You know,
maybe stay with the Japanese.
UVC says, "Well, thanks for the $5. I appreciate it. Will we see a plug-in hybrid Tacoma or Forerunner
Oh boy, that's
four-wheel
good.
drive?"
Yeah,
Yes,
that's another big question there.
yes, you will.
Yeah, I think
Probably
so.
no earlier than 2027 or 2028.
Hmm. I mean, Akio Toyota has made it very clear that they're gonna really push hybrids and plug-in hybrids and not so much electric cars right now.
Hmm.
So it would be very easy to assume that they will have a plug-in hybrid version of everything in the future,
Hmm.
but they have to prioritize again because of everything else, the supply chain, the batteries, and but they have to, right? They at some point, there's more chance of a plug-in hybrid Tacoma or Forerunner than electric versions right now. So yeah, I guess I would agree the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Hard to say when.
Yeah. Later this decade,
I think so, yeah.
but not after 2030. I think it's going to be, yeah, I think it'll be in the next
Hmm.
3 years. So
Hmm. Hard to say,
it's
yeah.
hard to say
I mean, when the solid
because
state battery comes out, then that could
it
also
can,
change
oh my gosh, can you
things.
imagine, David? Just a
Yeah.
hybrid, just a basic hybrid. What no one's really hypothesized what a solid state battery would do to the a Toyota fifth
Hybrids.
gen hybrid
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be like crazy. I
because you're
almost
really going to
bought
have to go ahead. Go ahead.
I almost bought solid state power bank, like the one that you use to power a house when it is a blackouts, because it had twice as much performance, half the weight, a little bit expensive, but I was gonna use it on my boat for doing a
Oh, I
bunch of
see.
stuff on it.
Yeah.
Because I want to experiment what the solid state battery feels like and to use, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already showing up in some consumer product and it's already high performance. And so I can only imagine how much impact it will have in the auto industry when it comes out, which is
Yeah.
not too far away. And maybe Honda will beat Toyota, right? Based on the current, information we
Yep.
have.
Honda.
Honda might make it first.
Let's see here. I'm having some issues, David, on my
Okay.
end.
Can you hear me still?
Hold on a sec.
Okay, okay.
I don't know
I
if
can hear
I'm.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Yeah.
Um,
What
are
is
we
it
back?
frozen?
Are we back up? Let me know, guys. Let me know if you can hear us.
I can hear you for sure. So I think
I don't know
you're
what
live.
happened there.
Yeah.
I don't, are we
They
working?
said
Do you guys
I
hear us?
hear. Sounds good. I can
Okay.
hear.
Wow.
Okay, so we're okay still.
Okay. So
Maybe you just froze.
my stream like my web page is crashed, so I don't know what
Oh, I
happened there.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're still good. Yeah, nothing happened. They said
Okay.
you're good. Okay, so we're good.
Yeah, but solid state batteries is pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
I think it's exciting. Yeah.
Honda has working prototypes. Their issue is figuring out how to make them big. They don't know
Yeah.
how to make the solid state batteries big.
And to do it, in a cheaper to do it cheaply and to
Yeah.
do it as a mass production.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, people still think that solid state battery is some kind of dream. That's not the case. The
No.
engineering is already finished. It's proven concept. They can do it. It's just that they can't figure out how to produce it in a mass production way at a optimized cost yet. That's all they
Yes.
have to figure out. At least for Toyota, that's the way where that's where they are.
Yep.
Um, I heard some nerds took those solid state power packs apart and found out they weren't solid state. What does that doesn't make any sense because it is. I mean, solid doesn't mean like a rock solid. It could be
Semi-solid state.
like a semi-solid, like a fl not fluid. What's the right word? Like a Jello, I
Liquid.
guess.
Yeah, gel. Yeah.
Yeah, like a gel. That it's not. I don't think it's not designed to be a solid state. So that maybe the wording is somewhat confusing.
Yeah. There's going to be, I mean, Toyota's already said that they're going to launch a solid state battery in
Hmm.
2027, 2028, and then a year or two later they're going to have a second generation solid state battery already.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's a pretty
Hmm.
bold claim, but Toyota's made some bold claims on solid state batteries before, and we haven't quite seen them and hit when they said they were going to. But
Hmm.
I
Hey,
think
fact
gonna
check
kind of
is
they're
giving
gonna
you more
come this
money.
decade.
Fact check loves you. I don't know who this person is, but
Yeah, he's showering with $5 bills. So we got
yeah.
another super chat from Fact Check. Uh, One last question. How would I properly contact you if I wanted to spend a week with my Honda Beat? If you wanted to spend a week with my Honda Beat K car and do video. All right. Well, here's the thing. I have access to Honda Beats in my local area, but I really appreciate it. I just haven't. I'm just so busy. But I appreciate you. And in my about page on my YouTube channel, there's more, like some people will contact me on Instagram too. But there's on
Mm.
my about page, there's ways that you can contact me on my through my about page. So hopefully that helped. But Honda Beat, great car, beautiful. It is potentially more dangerous than my motorcycle because it's so low to the ground and they're tiny.
Yeah.
But man, they would be so fun.
Yeah, all those little mini K car, Honda Beat, Suzuki Cappuccino,
Yeah,
what's the best
because
one would be the
AutoZam.
AutoZam. Oh my goodness, those were the
We
days.
saw
Those were
one.
the
We saw
days.
when we were in Japan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just don't do those kind of stuff anymore. People are too conservative and too worried about all the standards and everything.
Well, yeah, the government standards. It's outside of our country. The closest thing, honestly, the closest thing would be something like a slingshot. You have to market those not as cars. You have to market
Mm,
them now as motorcycles.
yeah, I
Otherwise,
guess. Yeah,
they have to be loaded with airbags and loaded with software for
yeah,
protection and all sorts of rigidity to make the cars really big. It's just a totally different era.
yeah. It's a different
Unfortunately,
era.
like yes,
Yeah,
people are safer,
yeah.
but like half of having fun is the potential risk, right?
hmm
So
we should definitely do a video about those cars because people don't know. There's some of the K cars has some really cool one. There was one from Nissan that looked like a small Hummer. Shoot, I forgot the name of it. I should know, but Nissan had so many, right? Escargo and Racine. It was called a Nissan Racine. See if I don't know if you can look that up quickly, but it looks like a little mini Hummer. Um, so anyway, one of these days I should do a
we
video
saw one of
about
these. We
this.
saw this when we were in Japan.
Which one? Which one?
The
Which one?
Sheen. I don't know if it's
Oh yeah,
coming
there you
up.
go. Yeah, see, it looks like a little mini Hummer. It's just kind of crazy, crazy car.
It's
But
cool.
oh no, no, but best one is the Toyota Serra.
Yeah.
I
See, I
really wanna
just
buy
learned
that
about the
one.
Toyota Sarah because they
I wanna buy
re-upped
that
the
one.
trademark on it.
Oh, did they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, this is like one of a kind, right? To have a going.
The
It's
glass on this
all
car.
glass, all glass. It's gonna be so hot in summertime,
But
but
could you imagine the sh- if someone vandalized the car, you wouldn't be able to find
I
replacement
know, yeah, no,
glass.
yeah, you won't be able to. Yeah, I don't know. You're absolutely right. If you get
You
into
couldn't
accident,
insure this car as a result, probably.
yeah, I
But
don't know
look
how
at
you
that.
fix it. I don't think they will carry the parts anymore. I almost bought one from Japan, but
Should
then I
have.
realized, okay, this probably might not be the best idea.
I would come up to your neck of the woods and
Yeah, if you do, yeah. You have to come up and you can
I still need
drive
to.
my
I still need
2000.
to.
Yeah, you need to come. We'll go fishing, but you can
That's
drive
right.
my 2004 Lexus SC 430. I still love that car.
It's a good car. I see him
It's
every
like
day
solid
down here.
car.
I see it
Yeah.
there,
Oh, really?
a dime a dozen in Naples,
Really?
Florida. It's the
SC
retirement
430?
capital of the world. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess
They're
so because it lasts
everywhere.
forever.
I see them
Mm.
daily. It's absurd.
All
Yeah, but I know how
right.
smooth they are.
Yeah, the
But
Samurai is cool.
I think David, like, I'm waking up in just a few hours to
Yeah,
review
I
the
know. Yeah, it's been
WRX
almost two
TS.
hours. So we probably should head out now.
Yep,
But yeah, let us know if you like, these kind of things. We don't do it very often, but we probably should do more often. Maybe next one I'll host Kirk in my channel. So
love
let
to.
us know. I'm sorry we can't get to everyone's questions. I feel bad about
Yeah,
that, but
it,
it's kind of fun to just do something very ad hoc and something casual. Yeah, maybe either I see Kirk. I don't think I'll see him at CES unless I change my plan, but definitely, I don't know, something else. We'll meet up in some other
if
events, I'm sure.
I mean, at the very last,
Hmm.
the very least, I would see you at the Japan Mobility Show, which
Oh,
is next
absolutely.
October.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's not
we
too
could
far
meet up
away.
before then.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a separate trip to Japan or something. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll figure something out.
Yep. Well,
All right.
David, thanks for coming on. Thanks for everyone coming out. Really means a lot to us. Happy holidays, everyone out
Mm.
there.
Yes,
To all
yeah,
the
Merry
super
Christmas.
chatters, you guys rock. Thank you
Mm.
for your hard-earned money. And everyone have a good night. David,
Yeah,
any
thank you
last
so
words?
much. No, just thank you again for everyone for supporting both of us and more to come. Give us feedback. Let us know what you want to see next year and best wishes for everyone and a Merry Christmas.
All right. Merry
Thanks, everyone.
Christmas. Yep. See you guys.
See you guys.